Hey guys, it's Ashleigh O'Donnell here, and welcome to episode 3 of the E.P.I.C podcast. E.P.I.C standing for Extraordinary People Inspiring Their Communities. And I have the incredible soul sister. Oh my God, I'm obsessed with this woman. I have the incredible Lauren Roberts. Now, just before I totally introduce her, I just have to let her know. This is probably the first time I'm ever really telling her this. So, feel free, Lauren, to just laugh. But when I first met this woman, I was like, oh shit, I need this woman in my life. I'm going to sound really weird if I just come out there and say I need you in my life forever and ever. Amen. So I'm just going to play it cool and just work my sort of charming magic skills, and then I'll get her hooked for life, and then she'll be with me for life. So I feel like mission accomplished, because that's what I feel like I have now done. And I have this incredible soul sister who I love so much. We've barely even freaking met in real life, but I hold her so close and near and dear to my heart. She's very special to me. And she is the creator of the Now Nation. We fucking take charge of your life now. It is an absolute honor and a pleasure to have you here on this podcast. Lauren, thank you so very much for being here.
Yeah, you're welcome. Well, you must have been psychically channeling how I felt when I met you, because I just was like, holy shit, this girl, woman, badass, whatever. She's I don't know, is she 18? How old is she? She looks so young. You are so young. And she runs these businesses and she has these Pilates studios, and holy shit, she's such a badass. And I mean, I just am having a little background in having retail, brick and mortar businesses in my past. I really just love the position that you're in and what you're creating and what you've already accomplished in life, which is so incredible. And I so appreciate being here to talk to you.
Oh my gosh. I feel like maybe this episode might just go on us doting on each other. No, but I love you more.
No, but you.
Oh my God. It is amazing. And thank you so much for saying that. That's so sweet of you. We are really inspiring our communities in our own way. And what I would really love to just start on is something that's really come up for me lately, and I think it's perfect for this podcast, and I'm just going with it, is what I really noticed is, yes, to the outside world, maybe looking in, it might look like that I've achieved something and you've achieved something, and we might have some sort of level of success and whatnot, and people look up to us and everything like that, being inspired maybe. But I feel personally that, one, I don't acknowledge where I am enough. I really don't. And then two, I still feel like I am mediocre and really not truly living to the absolute potential that I know that I have, and that I also sometimes see it in other people as well. And when I know that I'm seeing in other people, that means it's really reflecting inside of me, is that there's more that I could be doing, more people that I could be inspiring, more people that I could be helping, more growth in my brick and mortar businesses back in Australia. So I totally get it. And I think I just really want to start there. And I have really noticed that you yourself have given yourself a bit of a firecracker in your butt lately as well. And you've been blowing up the internet with your stuff. I just notice it every single time, every single day you're going live. Oh my God, you got to follow this woman online. Are you doing Instagram and Facebook? I think you're doing both. Yeah. You're doing both. Mm-hmm. Yeah, she's on fire. So tell us more about what inspired you to do that, and what going live every day is all about.
Yeah, well, let me just first address what you said about playing small, because I think this is why it is so important to surround yourself with the right people, with people who are similarly have the similar mindset to you about growth and about how there is always a next level to take it to. Because if the only time that I really get in touch with how small I'm playing is when I'm surrounded by people who are either in the conversation of what the hell am I allowed to swear?
Yeah, you can swear. I already said the F-bomb.
uh, when you're in the conversation with other people of like, what the fuck am I doing? I'm playing so small, right? But if you just go out to the world at large and you show up as the messenger and as the badass that you are, you're just going to get people saying, oh my God, you should take it easy. You're just doing so much. You're just so, and it's like, because fundamentally the thing that people who aren't creators and leaders and visionaries and badasses, what they don't understand is that we get our life from actually doing our art, from doing the thing, from sharing our message, like that it energizes us. That, I learned going live every day. I was going live at pretty late at night every night for a long time. And it started like pushing my bedtime back because I would be so jazzed after I would go live. I would have so much energy, where before I started doing it on a daily basis, I always had this image, just like the rest of the world has, that it would take up energy, that it would cost me energy, that it would drain me, that it would, like, I had to prepare, and then I would, just emotionally, and then and it's like, no. I just forgot, like everyone else forgets, that really when you are this kind of person, when you are a creator, that you doing your art, doing your thing generates energy. It generates this excitement and aliveness that is just perpetuates more of the same. But it's so easy to fall into the conversation of, oh, you should just take a rest, sweetie. You shouldn't push so hard. You're already doing enough. So it's like, so going live for me every day has taught me that just like anything else, it is anything that you want to do in this life, in business, in online business, in any kind of business, anything that you want to do is a daily discipline and a practice that can be learned and like improved upon, and that gets easier and easier. In fact, I don't even know that it gets easier, but you do get stronger and stronger and better and just bring more and more power to everything when you make it a daily habit. And it was just there was just this narrative that I could so easily get into when I wasn't doing it daily, that it was like, oh, it was, hard, or that it was scary, or that I was afraid, or that I wasn't going to show up right, or what if I showed up weird, or what if I, didn't know what to say. And then it's one of those things that can't be practiced. Like, it can only be practiced by doing it. And so that's where everybody gets stopped, right? That's where 99% of people will get stopped, because they think they have to be able to do it before they do it. And that's just ass backwards, so to speak.
Oh, absolutely. And just going on that as well, how much do we actually how much do we get in our own way when it comes to that? Like, we know that we're built for more. We know that we have the energy and we can be doing more. We know that we have all that potential, and that we just sometimes freaking pause ourselves doing that. We're sort of like, oh, but I'll really do that tomorrow. Or no, well, I've already gone live today, and maybe it'll come across as I'm too much, or maybe like this is it. And we just get in our own way. And I have decided, it literally this morning in my journaling, I had to do a big forgiveness for myself, because I had fallen into like the excuse trap, and I had told myself these stories and blah, 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 blah. And I started to really get angry, because I was like, oh, if only I just kept going back then like, maybe I'd have more of my goals that I wanted to, maybe I would have achieved everything back then. And then it's like, well, actually I get to forgive myself, because now I know for sure and for certain, and I don't think I'll ever break this discipline again, that I'll always just be showing up every single day for the rest of my life. And it goes beyond like building businesses and getting more clients and making more money. It's totally beyond that. It's a genuine need, feeling inside, that gets to be unleashed into the world, however it comes out, whether that's video format, post format, selling format, creating more content format, building more Pilates studios format. I don't know, but it just gets to still be released, and I get to make more and more and more of an impact in the world. And I just was selling myself so short.
Yeah, like absolutely. I mean, the thing is that the last month, or maybe a little longer, it's like every day I get clearer and clearer. It is the clearest thing in the world to me right now that we are the only thing that stands in our way. And the story out in the world is that the world gets in the way, that life gets in the way, that that other outside circumstances stop us from achieving our dreams or goals. And it's like, holy shit. No, when you can see clearly that it is just ourselves that stop us. It is just the conversations that we have with ourselves in our head. And it's like, holy crap. And the thing about like what you've done in the past or not done in the past, or whether you started and stopped, it's like I found so much that fear is such a bitch, right? Fear is always convincing you that either you're too early, like you're not prepared, or then as soon as you're not too early, you're too late. Like you should have done it before. You should have done it. You should have kept doing it. You should have not fucked it up back then, however you did it. It's like, you can't win. And so that's just proof that conversation with fear is bullshit, right? That it's always going to find a way to tell you that you did it wrong, that you're not good enough, that you should have done this or you should have done that. And it's like, yeah, forgiving yourself, whatever you want to call it, like letting go of that conversation is critical, because you can spend your whole life just going, oh, if only I had.
Yeah, exactly. So why do we do that? Why are we allowing ourselves to be ruled by this fear? I just don't get it.
Well, I think it's a habit. I mean, I think it's like your animal brain is concerned about nothing other than your survival. And your survival doesn't require your thriving. Your survival doesn't require your being fully self-expressed. Your survival doesn't require you being fully unleashed as you. Your survival is just your survival. And your brain doesn't really know how to operate in the modern world. It hasn't evolved as fast as humanity has. And for whatever reason, humanity developed a collective story about how it's probably better to just play it safe. It's probably better to kind of, not go crazy, not go for it all out, because that's what keeps people not rebelling in society. That's what keeps people, acting a little more normal and calm and like good little citizens, right? So, I mean, I'm sure there's a lot of factors that played into it, but then it just becomes a habit like anything else. And we just get in the habit of listening to that voice, listening to that conversation. Like, well, do I really have to do that? Do I really need to put myself out there? Isn't it scarier that someone's gonna, say something weird or say something like, it just becomes a habit. And then it also becomes like, what are the people around us saying? And that's why it's like so critical to have people in your life who will, like, it's like you're not all going to be in the pulling forward moment at the same time, but if you have enough people together who are in that conversation, then when the other one falls in the like backwards conversation, the other ones can pull them forward, and then that one can fall. And you're gonna like revert to the default by accident sometimes. Maybe every fucking day it feels like sometimes, right? But if you have the right people around you, then you'll have someone saying, wait, what are you doing? Like, what is this? Why are you doing that?
Yeah, exactly. It was really interesting when you said fear was a habit, because I sort of like, sometimes we give the fear so much power and we let it rule our lives and run our lives, and we believe it, and everything that comes up in fear, we're totally believing that mentality. But when you said like fear is just a habit, I was like, oh, okay, well, my exercise routine is just a habit. My daily journaling is just a habit. So if fear is just a habit, I can easily just sort of stop that.
Yeah.
And we really put so much pressure on like, I'm being ruled by this fear. Oh my God. And it's like when we really truly break it down, it's just a little habit that we just get to break.
It's just like if you ever had, like, I know when I started an exercise routine, I had a lot of like laziness habits. Like I would have a certain body sensation and I would think, oh, I need to go lay down, or I need to go eat something, or I need to go, I just had a habitual association with certain feelings or certain body sensations or certain like thoughts that was like, oh, this means I should go not do any, like I should fucking lay around and be lazy. And it's like, well, why? Was I even right about that? No, most of the time it was like, I actually realized as a creator and as like a leader and as someone who was super suppressed for the vast majority of her whole life, like that I realized that the suppression of energy is so painful and costly that it actually like causes a type of depression, a type of like laziness, or a type of like tiredness and exhaustion, because it takes everything you've got to keep yourself unexpressed when you're the kind of person like us, like creators, like leaders, visionaries, whatever. It's even hard to do a podcast because you're like, wait, yeah, I want to say something, and then you're saying something and I'm like, oh my God, yes. And it's like you have this energy, right, that's like, yes, this yes energy. And so to suppress that for so long, you just get in the habit of thinking, oh, well, I must be tired, or I must be needing rest, I must be needing food, I must be hungry. It's like, no, you just habitually assign to those experiences a certain meaning, and all you got to do is rewire that. Now when I'm like, oh, I feel kind of like blah, I'm like, oh, I must not be expressing myself. How can I express myself, instead of how can I go stand in the closet and find something to eat, like
exactly. How can I like chill out? Like my body's saying I gotta chill out now, right. So like I gotta go and do that. When deep down inside, like you were born as a high energy creative being, not saying that you're never going to have rest, because I know that your soul's going to align you to rest when it feels called to and when it needs to, but and that is so bloody interesting, because right now, I'm telling this about myself. Right now, in my bedroom, one of my blinds, which is literally next to where my head lays on my bed, the blind is like stuck open, so I can't actually lower it. And I don't know anything about north, south, east, west, and even being in America, I'm even just like, I really don't know my direction. But anyway, it appears that the sun is like rising up in my bedroom, right? And so like sometimes when I'm doing some work and I'm on Australia time, like I'll be working until like 1 a.m. LA time, and then my body clock, or the sun, because it's blaring into my face, wakes me up about 6:37. And I have even said to my freaking self, and I feel actually like awake 6:37, I really do. And I'm lying in bed, and I even say to myself, better force myself to go back to sleep, because I just don't want to be tired today. And I'm like, you've just really opened this up for me, because now I just get to be like, no, my body's waking up for a fucking reason. I even felt energized, I even felt awake. So just get the fuck up and start your day really early, because when I do force myself to go back to sleep, I'm not waking up till like 9:30 or whatever. And then I justify it by being like, yeah, but I stayed up till late last night. But to be really honest, I feel like I'm running behind my day. Like I really do like taking Ace out for a walk by like 7:30, 8 a.m. Like that feels really good for me. And then doing an exercise class at like 9:30, or doing my own thing. And then really sitting down, doing my work from like 10:30, 11. And it's like most days since moving to LA, I've been doing that about like, 1, 2, and it just doesn't feel.
And you'll be tired earlier. You'll go to bed earlier if you allow the cycle to reset itself, right? Because that's the thing, is that I fully believe in not, laying around when I necessarily like have feelings that I used to think, oh, I'm feeling tired. At the same time, I am obsessive about getting my sleep. I am rigid about like ending my day before I feel ready, because I realize, as the kind of person that I am, I'm never going to feel like I got enough done. I'm never going to feel like I finished what I was born to do. But it's like the thing that was missing for me about going to bed on time, that the time that I wanted to, that felt aligned, that allowed me to get up early and do the things, because I didn't used to think I was a morning person, but really I'm really effective when I get up earlier and I do the things like you said, have the habits. But the thing I realized that was missing was that I didn't trust myself to do the thing the next day. Like I had proven so many times when I was trying to force myself to do jobs that I hated, or when I was trying to like squeeze myself into when I was a lawyer for many years, and when I was trying to like force my life to be a certain way, to not follow my soul, I wouldn't trust myself to do the things the next day, because I wouldn't fucking do them, because I didn't care about them. I didn't want to do them anyway. So then I like developed this relationship with myself that was like, well, you can't go to bed because you're not going to do that shit in the morning. And then it was like, okay, I'll stay up all night, be ineffective, and then not wake up in the morning, suppress myself in the morning by keeping myself in bed because I didn't go to bed until whatever time. And then just the cycle continues. And again, it's just, there's such a habitual component to all of it that is like, we live a huge percentage of our lives on a sort of autopilot. And, it's like, you can fight that concept, but like, you are kind of a robot. I'd rather be like a kick-ass robot than like a shitty, exhausted robot. Like, I'd rather train my automatic behaviors to be things that light me up, to be things that share like joy with the world or that make a difference for other people, versus like, oh, I'm a habitual being, so I've got to just like go through the motions. No, it's not about that. It's about embracing what habits can do for you in the pursuit of the creative, kick-ass life versus just surviving some other kind of life.
Yeah. Oh my God. I'm just loving all of this. Like, we're just spitting out straight fire today. I can already tell. Gosh, I've already learned so much already. And I don't know why, but when you were saying like everything that you've said, like the topic of money keeps coming up. And so the topic of like, if someone is like, I just feel like there are people that might be listening and they might be thinking, oh, well, it's easy for you because like you are at this level earning this much money, or it's easy for you because like you're doing this and I have to go and do my 9 to 5 and I have to like do this and money's tight and blah blah blah. And if there are any listeners out there that might be thinking that, what do you have to say about someone who might be using money as an excuse for why they haven't truly reach their truly living their power of what they truly believe how they should be living?
There's so much I have to say, but first of all, you'll always be right. If you choose to believe truly that the money is the issue, that the money is the block, that you need the money, even if I tell you a bunch of things that inspire you otherwise, if you don't give up that fundamental belief, like whatever you believe about it, you will be right. That's 100% guaranteed. So you really have to choose a different belief if that's the belief system that's limiting you now, because look at the obvious facts of the matter. Facebook is fucking free. Like you can, my husband was going live the other night. He's like, I got to decide what I'm going to say on national television tonight. And I was like laughing at him. He's like, well, seriously, like, millions of people could watch this Facebook video, like it is. The opportunities of technology are just, every morning when I do my gratitude, almost every morning I am called to be grateful for technology because of what it allows. Because, whether you were in Australia or whether you're in LA, you're still far enough away that I can't be with you in person, but it's like the opportunity to share space and time with people with technology it's unspeakably huge in its possibility. So none of this stuff really costs money. What it does cost is some time, but mostly energy. And so the energy business, like, here's what I can promise you. I can promise you that I've been multiple six figures in debt, like way multiple six figures in debt. I have had creditors calling. I have had collections filed against me. I have had thousands of dollars in unpaid parking tickets. I have had like every financial rock bottom hit like that you can imagine. And I've also had like literally 7 figures in the bank, or, making 7 figures in business, or like I've run the gamut. And here's what I know for sure is true, that is the thing that I never would have believed. And all I can pray is that someone out there will believe it when I say it, because if you really take this to heart, it will change your life. It's like, the money is not the thing.
Yeah.
I do not feel any differently about myself because of any of those shifts in my bank account. And I was so sure when I had multiple 6 figures in debt and nothing on the horizon and just like a morass of shit financially going on. I was so sure that was the thing that was stopping me. I wasn't even contemplating a life that I have now, but that was like, it was always on my mind. It was always there for me. It was always present. It was always weighing on me or whatever. But the thing is that unless you fundamentally work to shift yourself, and unless you are obsessively diligent about surrounding yourself with people who have a different money mentality than you, who believe in the energy of money, who believe in the ability to call in money as as much as they desire and who believe in having real freedom around the energy of money, then you will not feel any differently once you get the actual money. The actual money is not the thing. And I know how much it feels like it is. I know how much it feels so real that like, well, if I just could at least get to zero, if I could just at least not be fucked about it, like then I would not. But the thing is, you'll find something else. Like my husband and I traveled around the world last year, and we stayed in all the craziest hotels, and we did all the things and spent all the money. Yeah. And it was like, okay, this is it. Like this, I mean, of course we could have spent more money, but like to a certain degree, like this is a high quality of life, right? And if I failed at any point to do the inner work, to surround myself in the right conversations with the right people, I fell into the exact ability to find things in my life that were draining my energy, find things in my life that I just like wouldn't allow myself to get past, that you will find them. Like, I know it feels like this is the one, and if this is the one thing you could just handle, and it simply doesn't work that way. Yeah. And so the only thing to do in that situation is to literally like speak a different language around money, speak different things into existence. This is where my mantra, watch your fucking language, becomes really important, because if you start speaking differently about money, if you surround yourself with people who are speaking differently about money, if you engage in different conversations around money, if you put out there to the universe what you're trying to accomplish around money, if you actually state your desires, if you get clear about where you are with money, that's one of the big things. Because sometimes when you're in that shit, you don't really want to know how bad it is. You don't really want to know like how deep it goes. And my analogy is always like, if you open your GPS app and you're like, I want to go to rich and famous land. And it's like, oh, great. Well, let me access your location so I can tell you how to get to rich and famous land. And if you say, fuck you, I'm not allowing you to access my location, I am not going to get clear about where I am right now, then that app can't tell you how to get to rich and famous land. It can't, literally, it's like, I don't know, drive for a while, find your way to the route, it's like, well, so you have to be willing to get really clear about where you're at and then create something different in your language. And I know that feels like it doesn't serve anything, but you have to actually do it. You have to actually speak it out there, put it out there, and you have to be like, deal with whatever blocks there are in you about your worthiness to receive or your worthiness to have, because every single human being, I swear to God, is just born believing that we're not worthy, that we're not good enough, that we don't deserve to have all the things. And so especially when you start getting some of the things, especially when you start getting the relationship, or you get the happiness, or you get the, living where you want to live, or you get the like job that you want to have, then you start like pulling back in some other area. And a lot of times for people, it's money. It's like they fundamentally just think, they have all these weird beliefs around, I can't get paid to do what I love. If I'm having this great of life in these areas, then something's got to give, like, and it's usually money. And because money is an energy, money responds like that to energetic shifts and to the way that you're being about it and what you're saying about it. And so, I relate, I get it. Like those people that are out there listening and are in that position, I understand, but nothing is stopping you from doing what I've done for the last 45 or 50 days, which is like, no matter how fucking broke you are, nothing's stopping you from spending 20 minutes a day and going live on Facebook and saying something inspirational to people and sharing your message with people. Yeah. Whether it's sharing your journey of where you're at to where you're going, whatever it is, like there is not, all the debt in the world isn't stopping you from that.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh my gosh, that's amazing. That was just straight up fire there. So good. Oh my God, I'm obsessed with you. See, don't you understand E.P.I.C? Like, this is why, like, we had to get Lauren on the podcast, because she's like next level amazing. Oh, so I mean, like, what have we, like, we've covered so much stuff today. Like, I feel like you've just lit a fire behind everyone's behind, and everyone's feeling all lit the fuck up, ready to just go out there and get it. So I'm feeling like we get to end it there.
Amazing.
Oh yeah.
Amazing. It's so, I mean, I just want to say that, like, you know, whatever, I always wish people could see themselves from someone else's eyes, particularly my eyes, maybe because I have good eyes. I have good ability to see people and how they are. And, you know, one thing about you, Ashleigh, is that, like, I know for sure that you don't understand quite, not that you are not amazing, but that you don't quite get how inspirational and motivational you are when you put yourself out there. Like, I read your post, well, I watched your live last night, and like, there, you know, I don't remember, but it was like 20 minutes or something. And, you know, just your authenticity and your honesty about, like, really being a stand for people to have a great life and to be lit up and to overcome all this resistance. Like, and the thing is that you could share that message for the rest of your life. You don't, there's nothing more than that. There's nothing to add to it. There's nothing, like, just your post from earlier today that I read before I hopped on here. I was like, yes, like, it helped me. Like, it raised my vibe. It helped me access whatever I got to share today here. Like, it makes a real difference. So I hope that you really get that and that you don't ever forget it.
Thank you. I think I've told you before that I just, like, I want you, like, in my pocket, like, every single day. So when I feel like I've got a little bit of doubt, I just like check in. I'm like, Lauren,
just check in. Yeah, we're good.
And then you just come out of the pocket and you're like, Ashleigh, you're amazing, you're incredible, you're inspirational. I'm like, okay, cool. You go back.
Yeah, thank you.
I got this from you. And that's what I feel like is so.
It's my next product offering.
Yeah, exactly. Perfect. Pocket-sized Lauren in your pocket, screaming how amazing you are whenever you doubt yourself. And this is why I just knew that I because you, like, everything that you said about me, I could 100% flip and say that about you, because I do believe, like, I'm your mirror and everything like that. And I feel the exact same way as well. I've never met someone who is so open to really accepting everyone as they are in their position as well. And no, there's no judgment on where people are at in their journey with you. Like, there's no real, like, come on, like, you can do this. Like, there's no real, like, forcing of, like, come on, you can do better than this. It's like, okay, this is where they are at. From afar, I'm going to send so much love and give so much support. And I just know and have the intention that I just know that they are going to see their potentials really soon. And then as soon as they get to their potential, either by themselves or with your help or whatnot, then that's when I just feel like, basically, I've always felt like, oh no, I'm going to get emotional. Basically, I've always felt like, oh, okay, breathing. I've always felt like that you have been in my corner. Oh my God. And when I wasn't ready to look at what I was capable of, and when I wasn't ready to see, like, what I was able to achieve and what I've been able to achieve, it didn't matter. There was no judgment. It was like, okay, you just accepted me from where I was, and you allowed me to, like, blossom into the flower and into the potential that I always believed that you knew was always there. And I just, sometimes when you're going through your own transformational journey, like, sometimes you can really get really down about people, like, expecting you to get there faster or whatnot. And I just have never felt so held by someone along that journey. Yeah. And so I'm so thankful for you. That was like, yeah, that just came out of my soul. Because if you ever, like, this is why I believe that every single being needs to have a Lauren Roberts in their lives.
In their pocket.
Roberts, if you're lucky enough, like I am, to have in their life, because I have just always felt so supported, and I'm just so thankful, and you're the best. And thank you again. This is why you are inspiring your community, because you're inspiring me, and you're inspiring all the entrepreneurs out there as well. And
Can I just say one more thing? Because this is important. I thought of this the other day. I'll be quick. But this is also why, like, if you're watching this podcast, you know, as I like was coming up in this being a baby in this business and doing things, you know, as I was meeting people like Ashleigh and like a lot of the other women that I've met, you know, I was always setting an intention to support people the way that she just so beautifully described. But what is so beautiful now is that I see that I didn't even understand what the benefits of that would be in terms of like the relationship that we can have now going forward together in business and together as, you know, like just partners and supporters, and like the power that you get from making real connections with people with really like not, I mean, I had no, I never thought about it. I never occurred to me like, oh, this will be great strategically or whatever. But now I see like, wow, if you just really, if you do life like from an authentic place that is meaningful, if you just really love people, if you just love the shit out of people, then you get like this world that opens up of like, you're like, it's like being in school and having like classmates, and then like you graduate together and then you like support each other through college. I don't know what the analogy is, but it's like, I just see now all the ways in which this relationship will flourish, like as I see now our future developing, like as badass creators and leaders in an industry, like fuck, like absolutely. Then that's just so amazing to see that blossom, you know. So just always love people first, and you just, you know, it will all that love that you send out there will come back to you.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh my gosh, what a beautiful way to end. All right, well, I'll let you go.
All right,
dominating the online space, and girl, I get to see you in person really soon. I'm super excited.
Oh my God, I know. So soon.
I cannot wait. And thank you for listening to the E.P.I.C podcast. And again, you can catch Lauren Roberts, founder of the Live Nation. And what's the best way for everyone to get in touch with you?
Probably my Facebook page is Lauren Roberts Live Love Now, or you can just search for Live Now with Lauren Roberts, or you can find me. I'm Ashleigh's friend on Facebook. I'll probably be on all her posts. And we'll put some links to my social online.
Amazing. All right, gorgeous. Well, I'll speak to you soon.
So great to see you.
Love you lots.
Bye.
Bye.